It's just a nice way to start.
Hey, what's the topic today, wifey?
Friendships.
Friendship. We love friendship. Friendship makes me feel so good. Makes me happy. Makes me feel good in my body. I love friendship.
Is that your Kermit voice? Like, what's the inspiration?
I don't know. It's like the weirdest I can make my voice go. I don't know. It does sound like Kermit. I get why you'd think that, but no, it's not specifically Kermit. Okay, friendship. Got my Joe mug today. Maddie made this. It's our kitty cat.
This is my accident mug.
I love that mug.
Me too.
Why accident?
Because it was not supposed to look like this. And it almost...
What was it supposed to look like?
I don't even remember, but this transition was not supposed to happen.
Which one?
Like, the narrow bottom.
Oh, really?
I know. And now I'm like, how do I do this again? Classic. Okay, I look good. My hair looks good.
Look great. Hair looks great. Could not look better.
No bugs?
Always a couple.
Yeah. Okay, friendships. I thought it would be a good topic for...
Mike's just blocking your face a little bit. Nice.
There?
Yeah. Should be like off to the side. You know? Like you're speaking.
Every single time I set it up, you adjust it. Every single
I'm a
time.
perfectionist.
Okay, are
That's
you happy?
perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Looks great.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that
Just trying to keep up with my fellow podcasters. Sorry.
I'm going to harm you.
With the noodle? Flip of the noodle.
Noodle.
Maddie loved the noodle. She gets to hit me. That was a good workout.
It was a good workout.
Okay.
Are you regulated? Are you calm? You got your toy. You've got your coffee.
Okay. I'm ready to be serious.
Okay. So I think that's a big thing that I've been reflecting on in the last, on and off for years, but in the last few months especially has been friendship and how it changes in adulthood.
Yeah. It does. Immensely.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it's just, I'm recognizing that I grew up idolizing or like romanticizing what friendships could look like. And it's not realistic. And I think it actually stops me from being able to connect in certain ways.
What was your idea of friendship growing up? Like, what was the idealization?
Okay, well, I know Mary Kate and Ashley were sisters.
Yeah.
But that kind of bond, like that sisterly bond.
Right. I watched that show. My sister liked that show.
Yes,
Mary Kate and Ashley.
So good.
Yeah.
Love Mary Kate and Ashley.
Yep.
Yeah, like so those kind of like Disney-esque movies where it's like your girl BFF and you just like do everything together and like you're always having sleepovers, you're always like doing like anything that you're planning to do, you're doing, it's like a given that you're doing it with them. And or then like watching Friends and like adulthood is like you all live close together and you all just like hang out and you're always doing stuff together. And
it's so fun.
Yeah. And I think that there's so many ways that that's just like not realistic. Like you and I both have a lot. Do you need to fix something?
No, it's good.
I think you and I both have friendships where there's distance, like geographical distance.
Most of my friends.
Yeah. Makes it really difficult. Work. Like different work schedules, like Johnny going away for work, right? Like that's very different to have to like work around.
Yep.
Nico works a lot. And then a lot of our friends have kids or are starting to go into parenthood. And so that creates different
difficulties in spending more time together.
Yeah, it's just, it requires more effort, and it's not as just easy as like those kind of shows made it look, right?
Totally. Yeah. Be nice if y'all lived in one apartment building.
Yeah, or like me and Jen were talking about like at the like a cul-de-sac where like you guys,
Oh, be so cool.
right? Like
I
that
will-
family that lives down the road, and it's like the like kids with their kids live there, and then the grandparents live next
It's pretty
door.
cool. Yeah.
Cute.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, that's one of my dream fantasies, is to have like 6 of my really close friends living on the same same street,
pretty.
even just within like half an hour of
totally.
each other.
Yeah.
Most of my friends are at least an hour and a half away, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them on the mainland, which is like an hour to the ferry, and then 2 hours, and then ferry costs, and then
Having to
it's
do it on a
tough.
weekend because you can't just
Yeah.
hop over on a weeknight. Yeah, it's
Everybody's work schedule. Like when you're young and you don't work,
yeah.
that's all you have to do is hang out with your friends.
Or you're all in school, so your schedules are all the same.
Yeah.
Your your
Yeah.
responsibilities are kind of all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it hit me harder than maybe like you growing up, because like I was homeschooled, and so like I had a group before I was homeschooled. I was like in school until like like halfway through grade 2.
Mhm.
So I had like a little group of friends, but then I was the one that left.
Mm.
And so they got to see each other every day.
Yeah.
And so inevitably I got left out.
Yeah.
It was harder for me to make new friends because I'm not socializing as much.
Yeah.
And then I think like then when I went back to school in grade 9, I had moved. And so then it wasn't like I was going back to school with the friends that I'd had since
Mhm.
kindergarten. I had to like completely make new friends, but then also everybody already had their established friendships.
Yeah.
So I was just like always kind of like on the outs.
Trying to like catch up.
Yeah. And so I think that like desire to have closeness was deeper for me in that sense because it was so difficult. Like it wasn't just easy.
Yep. I mean, yeah, my experience was quite different. I had a close group of friends in high school, but the dynamic was a little. It was like fairly competitive almost, and you get a bunch of young boys who were all kind of insecure in their own ways, hanging out. Like it's not like I think we had really good times together. I know we did, but it wasn't until later on that I really felt really close, like close in a lot of ways, close in the sense of being able to go do stuff together, fun stuff, but also close in terms of being able to really talk about things that were more vulnerable or more important.
And I can imagine it would have been harder for you just being you, and the way that you like to connect, as a guy.
Yeah, because I like to be able to talk about deep, sort of emotionally charged things and just like tease apart things, pick apart the universe and all of its workings. And that's not always on the agenda for the male psyche.
Yeah, teenage boys.
Yeah.
And I think that was something I bumped up against in my own ways too, of being like, I think how my parents raised me, just who I am, being homeschooled, I was out of that kind of peer pressure, importance of fitting in. Like I definitely struggled with that and I wanted to fit in, but there was a part of me that I felt very young of being like, if I don't like something, I'm not going to do it. Like, and I think you're like that too.
Yeah.
And so then you're kind of feeling a disconnect with your peers at that young age where like they're maybe going and doing certain things or bullying other people or just being kind of shitty because you just so badly want to fit in.
Yeah, you want to be cool.
Yeah,
when you're young, it's you want to be cool.
Yeah.
It's essentially what being young is about. Well, it was for me and my friend group, I think.
Yeah. You want to be cool, you want to be accepted, you want to
fit in.
You want to fit in, you want to be liked by like peers, but also like of the opposite sex maybe. And like you're also just trying to figure out like who you are in that time. Would never want to be a teenager again. Just going to say that.
I would just maybe do it a little bit differently.
I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I would too.
Yeah. If you could go back and be a teenager with like, me and Johnny will talk about this. Like if we could go back and play our respective sports with the brains that we have now and
Oh.
sort of the knowledge that we have now,
Yeah.
would have been a whole different ball game, literally.
Yeah.
You know?
I would.
Not so reactive and emotionally vacant or just like explosive emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wish I had the testosterone and sort of physical recovery ability that I did when I was 16. Playing 6-7 hours of sports a day was completely fine.
Yeah.
You know, missed that.
I don't know. You were going pretty hard today in the gym.
Yeah. Getting back there.
Yeah.
Getting back to my 16-year-old self.
I think I would have not gotten into a long-term relationship at 15.
That went 11 years.
That was 11 years. Because I think that it's so hard to know. Because, like, that also protected me in a lot of ways, I think. It's, yeah. But I do think that I would have had other experiences that might have shifted where I am today. But then again,
maybe
so
we
hard to
wouldn't have
know.
met.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like, yeah, but that does play a factor too, I think, in like I replaced friendship because I was struggling so much to find my people with my partner.
Yeah. So what's been the most sort of thing you've been reflecting on recently in terms of friendship?
I think there's a couple of things. I think a big thing that I've been noticing is because we've decided not to have kids,
Yeah.
and a lot of my friends are starting to go into that journey,
Yeah.
Inevitably, we're on different paths.
Yeah.
And not to say that like that hasn't come up before, but it's one of those things where, like, you know, when you would have one friend that's like still in school, finishing school, but then you're working, and so it's like,
Yeah.
but you've been there, or you kind of know what it's like.
Yep.
You guys can still relate.
Yeah.
This is something that like I will never experience.
Yeah.
And so that was really weird to sit with, of being like, oh, these people are all going on this journey and I'm not ever going to go on that journey.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like a bit of grief. It definitely hit that left out feeling.
Yeah.
And it's not that any of my friends have made me feel that way, but it was just the reality of like, whoa, this is one thing that I'm not going to experience. It's not like I just, it'll happen in the future, or like it's just not my time. Like,
it kind of makes you feel on the outs.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Do you feel like that with your friends?
Honestly, no.
No.
I don't. I don't, because I think we have different friend wounds, you and I.
I also find it interesting that a lot of your friends have had kids for
early.
Yeah, like it's
early.
Whereas often,
yeah,
most of mine are like about to get pregnant, just had a baby.
Yeah. It does make me sad that like I'm happy for my friends that have kids, but it makes me sad that we can't just connect and like call one of them up and be like, hey, come to the island this weekend. Let's go camping. Let's do something. Like those things aren't possible anymore as possible. Like it makes me sad, but in terms of left out, not really, just because I am satisfied with the choices that we've made not to have kids.
Totally.
And yeah, like we have different wounds in that way, you know?
Yeah. And I think like
I'm afraid of being rejected by people whether they have kids or don't have kids. You know, like that's just the whole kids thing doesn't really play in. It's more, do they like me? You know?
Yeah. I wonder if there's like a gender piece there. Like I think the women in my life really identify with becoming a mom.
Yeah.
And not to say that your friends don't identify with being a dad, but it's just like the responsibilities are so different when it comes down to gender, of like the one friend I have having to be like, well, I'm nauseous all the time because I'm pregnant. Whereas like her partner as the guy is also going into parenthood, but isn't having the same experience.
Much different experience. Women have to be so much more careful about that entire time. It's just like what goes in your body, just the hormone changes, the stress, like your whole body changing, like it's
postpartum, breastfeeding, like so much.
It's such a different experience. Whereas men, in and out, 9 months later, baby pops out. Not to say that it's easy. You got to support your person, and parenthood is difficult. But for men, I do think probably in a way it isn't maybe so all-consuming, because just the experience of giving birth, like men will never understand what that's like.
No.
I can talk about it, but I'll never understand. But it probably is the most bonding experience that you'll have.
And then the breastfeeding aspect of like, you literally are their source of nutrients. Like, you don't have a choice.
They're getting their food from your body.
Yeah.
They're sucking food out of your body.
Weird.
Yeah, it is.
But like, your friends will express like, oh wow, it's changed our relationship, or I'm really tired because we're not sleeping, and you know, or I'm feeling financially stressed because I have to go back to work.
Yeah.
There's definitely like the aspects for that for the guys, but yeah, I just wonder how that plays into some of my friendship stuff.
Yeah. I think there's like generally there's more of a societal pressure for women to fully be a mom. Like when you're a mom, that's your number one priority. And like in a way it should be for both men and women. But I think the pressure from society is more towards the woman to just always be a mom. You got to think of yourself as a mom first. You can't have any second thoughts or regrets or qualms about your kids. And that's one thing that I think is really interesting, is when people will talk about how stressful it can be to be a parent. With women, there's often like a sense of guilt. And with men, it seems a little less so, because I don't think that pressure is there so much from society. Yeah,
the mom shaming is just disgusting.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
I just think it's so harmful.
Like having a baby, having kids is one of the most beautiful things a human can experience, and one of the most challenging, especially for the first 2-3 years of life. Everything is completely different. You're tired. You're underslept. It's not going to make your relationship stronger. And it probably like enhances a sense of commitment, but there's no way that like that experience is refreshing in like an energetic sense, you know, completely changes things.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like long-term gain.
Yeah. Yeah. And fulfillment.
A lot of pain.
you're putting yourself second now. Like you are now second forever, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's been like a factor that, like, going back to that romanticizing of friendships that like I didn't think about.
Yeah.
And maybe I have a different experience. I'm sure there's people that are so excited for their friends to, like, for them to all get pregnant together and go through that chapter, but that's another like left out thing for me.
Yeah.
Already on that wound. And yeah, I had some pretty crappy friendships growing up.
Yeah. A lot of people hurt you.
Yeah, where it was just like, now I can reflect and be like, oh, that wasn't healthy. That wasn't reciprocated. That wasn't respectful. And so that is like a big wound for me now, and about feeling like I really want to. And it translated into our relationship too, of like, I was in a relationship for so long that I was just like pushing my needs down constantly and being, are you okay?
Yeah, I just thought of like, I was just thinking as you were talking, like we should talk about some of our closest friends and like what they mean to us.
Aww.
And then I kind of started going through it in my head and I got a little teary.
Aww.
Yeah, I just thought of Nate and Johnny just specifically. And because I've kind of been corresponding with them more recently. And just, I feel grateful to have good friends.
Yeah, we're really lucky.
Yeah, and as you talk about your experiences being so difficult, and I've had hard friend experiences too, but I feel so lucky to be in this phase of life and to have met the people that I have, and to like 3 of my closest friendships were made when I was 12 years old.
I know.
And I'm 32. Like we met in grade 6.
Yeah.
And we have not stayed super connected the whole time, but the way that we've reconnected and rekindled, just that the history together and just the sense of like camaraderie and like comfort that we share with each other is so rare. And they're just such good people. Jesse, Nico, Johnny, they're such good people.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That, I think, I think actually us getting married,
Here we go.
Here we go.
Cry episode.
I think that was like really hard for me, because there were certain people I imagined that would be at my wedding. and those friendships don't exist anymore. There was a sense of just this illusion of like, when I get married, I will have like my bridesmaids and it'll be this big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sitting and talking with you when we were making like the list of people to invite. And I didn't have very many in comparison to you.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling so jealous because you do have such beautiful friendships. But what was really special was that the guys that spoke at the wedding
All talked about you
all
too.
talked about me.
They love you.
Yeah, and like me and Johnny hung out so much that night, and like
I love you guys together. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like it was there was grief there, but there was such an appreciation for like seeing friendship in a different way.
Yeah.
And it was really healing for me because past relationship, their friends were not kind to me.
Mm.
And so to be always welcomed in.
The friends of your past partner?
Yeah. Yeah. They were, I mean, in high school, it was like my partner, me, and his best friend. And we were like a
trio. But he was like my big brother,
and he's not in my life anymore either. And I understand that because of the breakup, that's fine. But beyond that,
mm-hmm.
my partner's friends were really not kind to me. And so every single one of your friends since I've met them has welcomed me in and asked about me in a sense that like they actually want to know and they value what I bring to our relationship and how it's impacted you. And like, yeah, so that was really, I remember being like, okay, I might not have the friend group that I imagined and wished for, but I am being welcomed in and I have a lot of people around me. And I think that's been something too of like the expectations of friendship, that holding myself to a value of like, I deserve to have people that treat me well, because that hasn't been the case in the past, but also being a bit more realistic with
the Mary Kate and Ashley fantasy, right? Yeah. Because friendship doesn't always look like that. Like we were talking about this morning, because of, I think, how difficult it is to get together, and various other reasons. Like it would be sick if all of our close friends lived on the same block and we could just pop over and have dinner and just be super close. But that's just not the reality. So it's like the time you spend together is less so, but you can still have like high quality time when you're together. It's
still of value, of so much value. And it's funny because I remember living in Victoria when other friends lived in Victoria. Like I'm pretty sure my friend Jen lived in Hi Jen.
Hi Jen.
I'm pretty sure.
Killer uppercut on that girl. Killer uppercut. For real.
Check out this music video if you want to see Jen.
Oh, mad child.
It's funny because I'm pretty sure me and Jen lived in Victoria at the same time, or have lived in Duncan at the same time previously and not been as close.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's better when you're forced to have to make your time intentional.
Yeah. Yep.
I think there is some weird value in there, but it still sucks.
Yeah, it does. It does. I would love if all my friends were closer. Like it really is one of my primary fantasies. Like if the Homy podcast blows up,
we taking you guys with us.
Blows right up, to the sky.
Yeah.
That's like one of my number one priorities. Okay, guys.
Commune.
How do we, let's, literally commune.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Expectations. What was I? Oh, the other thing that I think has fucked me up is
Just getting fired up, folks.
is social media. Because you see everybody doing all of the fun things together.
Yeah.
And I think that's, again, hitting on that left out wound of like, oh, look, like those two people must be best friends because look at all the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
like, look how big that friend group is. They always do something together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's true. They could never talk and like only once a year get to see each other. And of course they're gonna like, it's just
So easy to make things look like that on the gram.
totally. And like, you're gonna see these images of people, and whatever your wound is, it's gonna get triggered.
Yeah.
You're gonna project that on like, oh, that person has this life because I want that so bad. That's not maybe true, but your insecurities are just constantly being projected and triggered through that.
Oh yeah. We're always walking through life with the like wound glasses, sunglasses on, a little bit at least. Like the tint may change, but we all see the world through our own internal experience, and your past hurt is so much a part of that. You know, so when you see things like that, you're just gonna like, you're gonna go worst case scenario in your own brain. I don't have that, they have that. What's wrong with me? I'm left out.
Yeah, and I think
social media is particularly bad for that.
Yeah.
It is.
I have been struggling with social media for a long time of just like my usage and how it impacts my mental health. And just the other day, I know I've said this to you before, but like I woke up, I looked, probably spent like maybe 3 minutes, instantly felt lower.
Yeah.
And I don't even think there was anything in particular that I saw. It was just the energy of like...
Was it scrolling?
Yeah, I think it was just scrolling.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, apparently scrolling is really bad for our brains.
Well, maybe that's why mine's so broken.
Like literally, I'm going to get the science wrong, but I heard some person talking about, just the scrolling in particular does something, or like decreases a part of your brain that's like very crucial, or it's very much just contributing to like a lot of our issues.
Well, and for someone like me who struggles with dopamine, like I'm realizing how much I have to take care of myself with dopamine changes and like
transitions.
Yeah. But yeah, so social media has definitely been something that's I'm noticing makes it worse, that comparison cycle. But I'm starting to do work with my therapist around like the wounds that I'm coming in with, or the wounds that are blocking me from being vulnerable,
or ways you're contributing to
the ways that I'm contributing to these, and keeping myself in this cycle of almost like this self-fulfilling prophecy of like no one will show up for me, I'm alone, all of those fears that I have, I'm too much, people don't care, all that kind of stuff.
It is that self-fulfilling prophecy, like the shame cycle.
Yeah.
You have an insecurity and you like you anticipate that no one is going to care what you have to say. So you stay quiet, not even giving yourself the opportunity to add, or, it's like you really, we all confirm our own hurt and insecurities because they're the ones driving the boat sometimes.
Yeah. Like one example is like a big, almost like a love language for me is like good listening. Like when someone gives me their attention, they're asking more questions. I remember when I was dating before I'd met you, and it was fucking like ridiculous. I'd be like, oh, so do you like have a sister? And they'd be like, yep. And the conversation would just end. I'm like, I'm literally feeding you easy kind of like, do you like that kind of back and forth?
Yeah.
Nothing in
Teeing
return.
It up. Listening's so funny. We got to do a whole episode on what it means to listen.
And I will say, I have very high expectations for it because it's something I care about. It's a wound of mine. It's, going in, having a counseling background. Like,
I don't even think your expectations are actually that high. I think you just value a reciprocal amount of communication. It can't be one-sided.
I've realized how much that has lacked in my life. And so it's like a big thing for me.
Yeah.
But one thing that I've reflected on is out of my anxiety and out of my discomfort and dysregulation, I will keep the conversation going. I will be the one asking questions. I will be the one inquiring.
Yeah.
Does that give that other person an opportunity to ask how I'm doing? No.
Yeah.
So really. Then I leave and I'm like, I was the only one, like I asked all these questions. They didn't care about, and I'm being dramatic, but like, they didn't care about me. They didn't ask, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, but I also wasn't giving them any space.
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing them as capable to do that.
Mhm.
I was so uncomfortable with silence or being let down or
Silence.
all of that,
Yeah.
that I kept myself in this cycle where I'm
Mhm.
comfortable to just talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's been something that I've been trying to look at
Mhm.
for even just in times where I'm like in a setting where I'm not super comfortable and how like with clients or like at work or just people that I don't know, how I will go towards keeping the conversation going because I just can't live in silence.
Yeah. You really do kind of struggle with that.
It's so hard for me.
Yeah, I do too. But I notice, like in particular, like you want to keep it flowing. Just continue, like, tell me about this.
I know, it's so frustrating because I'm like, shut up, like just stop talking. But I'm just, I get so in my head when there's quiet.
Where are you?
What do you mean?
Like, where do you go?
I think I'm so aware of wanting people to be comfortable.
Yeah. Caregiver.
That I just like don't even give the opportunity for it to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Or for like the other person as a functioning adult to be able to like regulate themselves, you know?
And some people struggle with asking questions. It's not that they don't want to listen or don't care, but asking questions is not a normal thing. Maybe they feel like they're imposing. They don't want to bring it out of you. It has something to do with them. Sometimes just talking about yourself unstimulated or unquestioned is like just necessary, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's like another thing of recognizing in certain friendships, like the comfort that I have to go into these deep conversations is not the comfort that everybody has. That is not always the place that someone wants to exist, whether it's that day or just the period in their life, or maybe they just don't, it's just not as comfortable. But that doesn't mean they don't care.
No.
It's not that they don't, it's a reflection of where they're at, not of like, oh, they don't like me. They don't care about me. So then it is sometimes sharing just by myself. Like I'm saying like, oh, this happened to me, or like I'm starting that versus waiting for them to inquire.
That's just normal though. I do that all the time.
Yeah, I know, but it's so interesting how I've kept myself in this.
It is harder for you,
cycle.
I think, to just add to the conversation when you're not asked. Yeah.
Another thing that I've been noticing is because I idealized that like finding the best friend, and it's happened a couple times where I've like had that person, and I'm like, I remember with one friend in particular, I was like, oh, there were two. Me and this girl that I lived with became very, very close. And then their friend kind of like joined in, and it was like the three of us. And we were so close. And I was just like, oh, this is it. Like, I got it. Like, I got the girl group. They're like my ride or dies. I never have to question. We're always doing things together. We are each other's people. Obviously, that's not a friendship in my life anymore. But I think because I'm always seeking that, I am not seeing what is in front of me.
Yeah. And that's not even necessarily healthy.
No, I know. Like the enmeshment and the codependency, like that friendship was not very good.
No, and especially not right away, you know? Like I think most good things build slowly, you know?
Yeah. I think it's just that there's so many wounds there for me of like being left out, not wanting to be alone, wanting to be seen and accepted, like the safety of being with others. yeah, all of those things that I think I'm like, okay, got it. And then it doesn't always work because it's just not realistic. Or in that friendship, had my rose-colored glasses on to a lot of behaviors that were not very kind.
Yeah. Which can often come with enmeshment, is you kind of discount some little things that you don't really like, or it's like, oh, I'll just, don't really like when they do that, but whatever. It's blah, blah, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
So how would you define a healthy friendship now?
It's cute because I think the name that pops up for me right now is Sierra.
Yeah.
Because, and I think the reason I think of Sierra when I think of a healthy friendship is her and I are both trying to be very, very honest with our wounds and what's being triggered.
Yeah.
And it's been really healing because we both have had some really shitty friend breakups, and but we're trying really hard to bring things up when they come up of like, hey, I felt really left out when this happened, and like, or hey, this interaction left me feeling a little
Uneasy.
and yeah, and I know that maybe I'm feeling a bit triggered, but I just want to express this to you. And then the other person is always like, thank you so much for telling me, like, no, this was going on, or yeah, I'm sorry, I really dropped the ball. Like the healing aspect that's been happening for us to be able to like be honest and vulnerable and take accountability and receive feedback.
Yeah.
Not just in friendships, but just as like humans, has been really cool. And I think that is a huge one. Like honest communication.
And honest communication when when your feelings are hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's really hard to tell people that you love that they've bothered you or hurt you, or
one of the hardest.
Or admit that you're triggered by something.
Yeah.
I feel like her and I both have sent each other voice notes of being like, I can tell I'm triggered and I feel so silly saying this, but
it's good though.
But it's so good that we say it, because then it doesn't feel like a big deal. You're not sitting with shame. You've got this like corrective experience that happens.
Yeah, you allow them the opportunity to show you that it isn't about that thing that you think it is for you. It's a thing that's going on in their life. They're tired. It's this and it's that. And it depersonalizes it, I think. And it just like, it humanizes them. It just lets you guys not get sunk by that self-fulfilling fear and shame that often goes on. And you can't choose when you get triggered.
No.
And it's not that you have to bring up triggers every single time, but like when there really is something sitting there that it doesn't have to be a huge thing, but when you can bring that up to someone and they can hear that and receive that and not shit on you for it and just say, yeah, no, I get that. I didn't want to make you feel that way. I apologize. Wasn't my intention, but I get it.
Yeah.
It goes so far.
And that it doesn't linger.
Yeah.
Because I think something that has happened in my previous friendships, I think for a variety of reasons of like us being young, or alcohol involved, or just like things like that. I think some of those issues could have been avoided if both parties could have been a little bit more honest of being like, this hurt me.
Yeah.
Can we figure this out? Rather than like sitting and stewing about it and like getting more and more fired up and then just being like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's weird. I think friendships are tiny microcosms of relationships, like intimate relationships, and yet we don't really know how to like interact in that same way. Like I feel like and maybe it's because I was in a long-term relationship, I feel like it's so much easier for me to be in an intimate relationship, but sometimes friendships feel even more intimate and vulnerable and scary.
Oh, definitely. For sure.
Even just like,
I don't really think there's much of a difference.
Yeah.
Like fundamentally.
Just not banging your friends.
Yeah. Like minus the sexual stuff. But even then, like when you take that out, it is a little more pure.
Yeah.
It's a little more, because you can hang your hat on sex and appearance and all that stuff, but if it's just how do we connect, how are we with each other, do you step on my toes, do I step on yours, do we not, it's such a more true reflection of how you actually exist as people.
And like there's been a couple friendships that I've decided to end,
Yeah.
and I feel really guilty and bad about it. But they weren't nourishing. Like they weren't reciprocated. There was just some stuff that just didn't feel quite right.
A lot of reasons.
A lot of different reasons, but I remember kind of being like, how do I like kindly end a friendship?
Yeah.
Because when you want to end, if you're dating someone, you're like, the vibes are just not there. I'm like, you can still fucking sucks to be broken up with or breaking up with someone, but you can kind of rely on that. Whereas like if you're my friend and I'm like, your personality just doesn't match with mine, that just feels so much worse.
Yeah, it does.
There's just like no way to do it when it's not mutual.
Yeah.
And that fade out just happens.
Yeah, it's almost like I can get past this because it's romantic.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, there is something to that. But I'm imagining myself, like if someone was like, you know what, I don't really vibe with you as a person or as a friend, I'd be like so much more hurt than that. Then I'm thinking of the times where women have told me, yeah, I don't really want to continue this. And it does sting, but it doesn't sting as much as thinking of that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That someone just like doesn't like you.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no.
Okay,
right? Yeah.
So how would you define a healthy friendship?
Healthy friendship, I think, would be honest communication. Not spending every waking minute together. Like I think it's healthy to have many friendships, and I think it's healthy to spend time with them, but not always be like I have to.
Differentiation, as they say.
Yes. Yeah. I think also not just like going along with everything that person, either party. If I'm thinking of like a two person friendship, like a twosome, disagreements, and like having that differentiation of just the self of I really like this, but my friend doesn't have to really like this. And I think that's something that I've been noticing in some of my friendships is like, oh, that's the friend, like me and Jen are the like she's my person that I go to music events with. That's all. She's always been that friend that I'm like, when there's a concert, I'm like, oh, Jen. Because we've had so many good times there. We like dance like idiots together. It's the same vibe. That's my girl. And then,
or if you want to watch Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, also Lord of the Rings girl. And then Natalie is like my pottery pal, right? Like that's where we can nerd out about pottery stuff. And so I think,
and you do talk about other stuff with these people.
Yes.
But it's like one of the primary ways that you guys connect.
Yeah, just I'm realizing that it's good to have a variety of people in your life because each person brings something out of you, brings new experiences to you. Cups. Yeah, because if you were, it's like a relationship. If you are only expecting your partner to fill all your cups,
not going to happen.
No.
Nobody meets all of your needs. It's not possible. That is the job of a parent. That is really the only but seriously, that's the only relationship where that is the expectation. Is the parent is supposed to ideally fulfill the needs of the child, which is impossible again, but you're not supposed to try to do that in a friendship or a relationship. It's not going to be healthy because you're going to have to discount yourself a lot of the time. If you're going to do that, you're not their caregiver. Yeah.
And then I think to the caregiver point that there's a reciprocation.
Yeah.
Every single relationship and interaction with other people, there are going to be times where someone is having a really hard time and you, because you care, show up for that person. And sometimes it's longer periods than others. Or sometimes you're going through it at the exact same times. And I think that's just like the reality of life being hard sometimes. But I really value at least that then that reciprocation can come back within the capacity of that person.
Reciprocation is huge.
I talked with, because then otherwise resentment builds, or you feel just like you just feel taken.
Yeah.
And it's such a two-way thing. You need to feel like
it has to feel some kind of equal, and not always 50-50, but this has been such a huge thing for me in relationships, friendships, and romantic is like, how equal does this feel? Is it reciprocal? Is it mutual? Is it always me doing this? Like, am I always the one that's listening or that's, you know, feeding into whatever, you know, but it should feel like equal-ish. Yeah. Reciprocal.
Or there's like an acceptance. You feel this like acceptance of the discrepancy in a way. Like, I know right now with a lot of my friends being parents and new parents, that the reality is my life is a lot more flexible than theirs.
Yeah.
And I am completely okay.
Yeah. You don't have that expectation for them though.
No, exactly. Yeah. And I recognize that that's, you know, the need to kind of adapt of like, oh, nap time is happening early. So we're not going to be able to go to the coffee shop. You want to come over and just hang out. Like just being flexible with that rather than like holding it against this person because I know what their capacity is and their reality.
Yeah.
If it felt unfair though, like they're just not choosing to prioritize our friendship, or they're just relying on me to just always kind of figure it out or whatever, or always be there when they need it. Are we thinking of the same thing?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, that, you just don't want to feel
taken advantage of. Yep.
And that's another one that I think I've been reflecting on, of that self-fulfilling prophecy of where am I keeping myself stuck in, and it's been something I've looked at in past friendships and why they've ended, because I'm like, well, I've almost set this precedent. I'm enabling that I will always show up and I will always be available, and that I don't ever express to them like, hey, that doesn't feel reciprocated.
It is keeping yourself trapped in a way. I remember when I used to go to the sauna in the YMCA in Victoria. It was a small sauna. You know, there was like a bench seat on the bottom and a bench seat on the top that was maybe like, 4 feet wide, you know, so that you could fit like max 4 people in there. And I would go in there, and I remember having a bunch of conversations with different dudes pretty much every day. Sometimes we don't talk, but oftentimes I would. And there were some people, you're in close quarters, or some people, when you'd start a conversation with them, they don't shut up. They just keep talking about themselves for as long as you'll listen. And there's no reciprocation. There's no back and forth whatsoever. And I would notice like the next time that they would come in, it was like they kind of expect that. Like that's what they know the relationship to be. And if I just do as usual what we did the first time, it's just going to continue. And it's up to me to kind of either not engage or start talking about myself, or try to find some sort of common ground besides, you know, the wheels on your Porsche. Like, you know, some people just don't have that gear. Yeah. And those people probably shouldn't be your friends, because that's not really much of a friendship. But my point is that, like, your baseline might be to listen. Like for you and I, because we're caregivers and the way that we grew up, our baseline is to just listen and let people share. But you got to be careful about like selling yourself short in that sense.
Yeah. I talked to someone yesterday about this, of like, and you and I have talked too about like, our go-to is caregiver and caretaker. We're so comfortable listening and having difficult conversations and whatnot. We also have such an understanding of like an empathy and a compassion for when someone's going through something.
Yeah.
So it's like you can always find a reason of like, well, I know why they're like this. I know why this behavior is happening, because they're experiencing this.
Yeah.
And if you only move forward with empathy, you're going to allow that person to just always, because there's always a reason why, like, oh, well, they're going through this, so of course they're going to just dump on me.
Yeah. You can have the empathy you can have the empathy. The empathy is so good, but the boundary of, do I want this in my life? Is this a person that I actually want to spend time with? You know, like I think it's good to always, to the best of one's ability, have empathy for why someone is the way they are. Like even that really asshole person who just budges in front of you at the supermarket. It's not, I'm not saying that's cool or that's good to do, but that person is probably not having a good time. They probably have so much shit going on in their lives. There's a reason why they're like that.
Yes.
It's good to have that empathy and not just demonize them as a bad person. And this guy's just a fucking asshole. And that's all they are.
Yes.
No, they were a baby once. They were a teenager once. They've had trauma. They've had wounds and like all the shit. And they have not been able to get there. And it's just like festering and at the surface. Have that empathy, but am I going to hang out with that person? No.
And don't lose yourself in having that empathy. That's, I think, what happens to me is I lose myself, my sense of needs, boundaries, like limitations. And I go straight to like, oh, I will empathize till the end.
You'll rescue them.
I'll rescue them.
Yeah.
And then I've lost myself.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, where in relationships and friendships, I've become blind and my ego takes over and I'm like, I'm such a good friend. I'm there. I will always be there for them, blah, blah, blah. And I want that from my friendships too, but I'm not setting it up for success in that way because I'm enabling that this person doesn't even have to think about how I'm doing because I'm giving and giving and giving, right?
Well, yeah, if you become friends with like an 80-20,
yeah,
you know, with someone who talks 80% of the time and doesn't 20% of the time, like you can't expect them to change.
No.
Like that's who they are, and unless they want to change or are open to it.
And if I'm not communicating, like I said about Sierra and me, having these kind of like dialogues and holding ourselves accountable, and
that's when the resentment builds.
Yeah. And so
not with you two, but people.
Yeah. But I also can recognize there's friendships where like I have avoided conflict, and avoided being honest and setting a boundary or saying like, hey, this is not feeling equal. I'm too scared to do that. It's built resentment. We're not friends anymore. And some of the friendships maybe could have remained. I think there was other things going on, but I can't expect you to change your behavior or even know that your behavior is something I wish would change if I'm not telling you.
No, I mean, I went through this exact thing last summer, you know?
Yeah.
Like was quite close with two people and some of their behaviors were really affecting me and I just never brought it up. I just wanted to be that all-encompassing support for them. And it started to wear on me and it ended up bubbling up and I didn't go off, but I let it all come out at once I thought that I had sort of like expressed beforehand, but I really never sat down and said, this bothers me. And I can't have this in our life. Like if we're going to be together, like this thing can't exist alongside us. I never had that conversation because I was so scared really of like hurting them.
And not wanting to be another person that like judged them. And because you understand some other things going on, why that behavior is happening. But
the empathy, like you said, kind of like, blocked me.
And the behavior is not the trauma is not an excuse for the behavior. Is that the saying?
The trauma is not an excuse for the behavior. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. Like, it's good to, have empathy for someone. They've been through shit, so they're going to act a certain way. And like, as a therapist, that's half my job is to understand that with people. And it's easy to have the empathy for them because like, they're not involved in your life. Like, they don't have to show up for you. It's just you showing up for them. But you're still responsible for your behaviors. Like nobody else is. There may be reasons why you are like this. Parents, friendships, hurt, breakups. Those are the reasons. But you are responsible. And especially when awareness is drawn to those patterns, I think you're extra responsible. But this concept is so difficult to tease apart. Like at what point is someone responsible for their behaviors? I still don't have an answer to it. I've thought about this forever. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but when I think about, something that Sierra brought up to me, and my action hurt her
Maddie's going to answer it simply. Just like,
hardly.
yeah. Well, no, you will. I've just been overanalyzing it for 12 years and you're just going to, there it is.
She brought up something, a way that I acted in front of her that hurt her feelings.
Right.
And I know why I acted that way.
Yeah.
I was feeling triggered and hurt in the situation from something else. But I had to hold that awareness of like, I know that this is what was going on. That's good information for me to know. But right now what's coming forward is this person is impacted by my behavior.
Oh, that's so important. I just was so important, isn't it? When you're in any type of conflict with someone and they bring something up to you, you're going to think of
Sorry, keep going.
You're going to think of the reasons why you justify it for yourself because you have a built-in mechanism for self-protection. So you're going to want to say yeah, but I did that because of this, or I'm that way because of this, or they don't get it because I'm this. And that's fine. That is going to happen, but that's not their responsibility. It's just not their responsibility. So hold that in your head, maybe talk about it later, talk about it with your counselor, friends, whatever, but your behaviors have hurt this person. They don't know any of that stuff. So like you said, take accountability for that, be with them and be like, I get that. I get how that landed for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then later, if there's time and space or whatever, you could say something like, I just want you to know, I believe this is why I do that. I don't think it's you. I think it's my upbringing and how I was treated like X or Y, or this time that this person did this to me. It made me, so I'm going to work on that,
Yeah. And that's exactly what I did was
but don't lead with the defense. Don't.
That's what I do so often.
Do you? No, I don't think so. I'm not saying that.
It's a hard one for me. And it's not, it hits on my shame of I've hurt someone. I feel so fucking bad.
We're getting into it now.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm such a bad person.
Yeah.
I do this with you.
Yes. You're getting way better. Way, way, way better.
It's so hard for me to admit when
you've hurt someone.
I've hurt someone, not because I don't believe that I have, but because I'm scared to admit that I fucked up.
Do you think if you admit that you fucked up, it's gonna make me want to disconnect more?
Yeah.
Because it is the opposite.
I know, and I'm learning that, but that hasn't always been the case for me. Of when I've admitted that I've done something wrong, people will leave.
Yeah.
Do
you want a regulation baseball?
No, I'm just little. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that absolutely.
It's a hard one. And so if you've experienced that, it's a hard, you really have to actively take care of yourself in that moment of being okay, this person is telling me that I've hurt them.
Yeah.
I need, the best thing that I can do is acknowledge that because every single human being just wants to be seen. And there's been times where
and most of the time they're not actually trying to fully disconnect from you.
No.
But I have that too. And that is often the fear. When someone brings something up to you, we don't even realize how much we get triggered and how it goes to a place of now they're going to leave me.
Yeah.
Now they're not going to want to talk to me, or they're going to silent treatment me.
They're going to use it against me.
They're going to use it against me. They're going to hold it over my head, and then shame comes in and defensiveness, and you just protect. But most times they are just trying to communicate this thing that really a simple apology and accountability does sort of alleviate it. And then you can talk later about, oh, that was really hard for me to do. Not because I wasn't sorry, but because for me, every time I've admitted a wrongdoing, I'm used to the person leaving, disconnecting.
Yeah. And that's been a hard one for me to do, of not become defensive, because I am aware often of why something's happened. This interaction with Sierra. I knew exactly what was going on for me.
Yeah.
And I did tell her. I apologized, and because she kind of already knew some of the stuff going on, I was
Yeah.
I just kind of explained a little bit more. I'm so sorry that I did that. I can completely understand why that would hurt your feelings.
Mhm.
Like, thank you for telling me.
Hmm.
I do think that this was at play.
Yeah.
And she kind of already knew. So then it left, it kind of like left all our cards on the table.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, okay, this had nothing to do with you. This had something else going on, but I'm sorry that it impacted you.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I get lost in the wanting to defend myself.
Yeah.
And I miss the person in front of me.
Yeah. Well, there has to, like, you have to have been socialized to understand that you can make a mistake or be at fault or hurt someone's feelings, and that, like, that's where it ends. Like,
Yeah.
like when Scar and Meals were here, you know, their little like fight thing that they had, it was like when I talked to one of them, it was like, you're not in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, like, we don't want to do that. But even before I said that, I was like, you're not in trouble. You're not bad. That stuff happens. I'm going to sit with you, and then we can chat about it. But if you go right to like shame and don't, you know, then the person learns, like, when I do something wrong, my system's going to get shocked, you know? And it's just like, you have to develop like a comfort with knowing that being imperfect is okay. And that the person is not trying to get you or like this and that. Like, they really just want to know that you understand why you've hurt them, but they don't really expect you to be perfect.
No.
They want accountability and an apology. And then probably at some point they'll be ready to move on. And then you guys will be more strengthened. But it's not a common socialization practice in our culture. Is how do you respond to someone when they have hurt someone, when they've hurt you? Like, shame and blame is not the freaking way, man. It's not. Shame is not the way. You can't shame people into doing things right. Like, I'm going to take a hard fucking stance on this. You can't. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You don't socialize through fear and shame. It does not work. You need to be with them, teach them, be gentle and calm, and sort of show them through, like, even like when she was just kind of freaking out and she was screaming, like, whatever, you know, she was all, just sat with her. When you're ready, I'm here. You know, what does it do? People think that it corrects the behavior to like get mad and to this and that. It's a quick fix, but ultimately you're putting more fear into them. You know, you're putting shame into them, and it's going to actually enhance the behavior later on.
They'll either withdraw even more and go into that shame, or they'll get bigger and have bigger outbursts, and because they're defending themselves because they are scared. Yeah.
Like, calm is better. Our systems like calm, especially when they're triggered, especially when you feel shameful. That is the time to go to someone with calm, you know, and respect, and let them know that these things happen. We step on each other's toes. We make mistakes. It's not okay to hit people. It's not okay to put your hands on people, but you can say that in a nice, calm way. I'm talking more about kids right now, but people also, it's relatable, you know? Like, people just respond better to calmness.
Yeah. And I think something that I have tried to remember is that.
And I know you can't be calm all the time. I get it. I get it. You can't. It's not always realistic. I'm not always calm. I'll go out, like, I'll fucking take my stress out on you. Happens every week. Maybe not, you know, ish.
So much different.
Way less now, but it's not about being perfect. It's just like, does this work? Does it not? You know?
But yeah, I think remembering too, when someone is setting a boundary with you or giving you feedback.
Yeah.
If it's a good, healthy relationship, that's because they want to maintain that, not because they want to harm you or shame you.
Yeah.
When I tell you,
that's a tricky one. You know, like, because sometimes people do come at you, right?
I guess the example that I'm thinking of is like, Sierra sharing feedback with me is because she wants to maintain a friendship with me. For sure. And so when you can see that someone is sharing, like, hey, I've been hurt, and like, can we talk about this?
Yeah.
That's because they're wanting to maintain that relationship with you.
Yeah.
They care about you. They care about this. They want to move past this rather than just not talk about it, build resentment, and have it blow up later.
Yeah.
Does everybody do that? No.
No.
But I think that's something that I try to remember with you
Mhm.
is like the reason you're bringing this up with me is because you're hurt
Yeah.
and you want to be close with me,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, and there's been times where I've brought it up and it hasn't been in the best way. When
Mhm.
like, and this is tricky, like when someone has hurt you, how do you express it to them? This is my personal belief. I think if you express your hurt out of anger,
Mhm.
it won't go well.
Mm-mm.
People don't respond well to anger. And oftentimes, like, they're responsible for their behavior, but you're kind of responsible for your reaction to it.
Mhm.
And if you shoot off at them because something they did unintentionally, you're kind of no better. You know, like if someone hurts you or something, I think the best way is to name what you experienced calmly.
I feel because
Literally, the I statements are like a silly thing. Like they kind of bug me, but it's kind of bang on. Like
Mhm.
if you can say, when you did this, I felt like this and that hurt my feelings because X, Y, Z.
Mhm.
But if I say, do you know when you did that to me, that actually really pissed me off because you're like, you can just be such a bitch sometimes. You can just be like, you don't understand like how mean you are sometimes. That's just so different, you know? It's so different.
Mhm.
Like if you're going to bring that thing up to your friend or your partner, if you do it angrily, don't expect good results.
I think it goes back to that, like coming in with calm.
Yeah.
Like and this is something that you and I have differed on at times.
Yep. Because
Like-
I'm more comfortable going to that elevated space. And I've had to learn that.
And you want to fix it right away. You want to address it right away. And sometimes I am so dysregulated that I can't. And so there's been times where I've like been bothered by something's hurt my feelings. I go away, I think about it. I'm like, what's going on for me right now? Why am I triggered? This happened this morning. I felt triggered and I was like, like why is this happening?
The friend chat.
Yeah, and I couldn't quite
That was really good, by the way.
I couldn't quite figure out what was going on for me.
Yep.
But I could I felt really frustrated and irritable initially. Like that my first feeling was like pissed off with you.
Yeah.
You did nothing wrong. You told me some information and I was just like, I don't want to do that. And I just felt so angry.
Yeah.
So I recognized, okay, I am super dysregulated by this.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a minute. I'm not going to bring this up right now.
I had no idea that you felt that too. Yeah.
And not because I'm trying to avoid the conflict, which I also have done. But I was like, I can't bring this up in a healthy way right now. We're going to get into conflict.
Because you're too triggered.
I'm too triggered and I can't see through it. Then once I sat with it, I was like, okay, I think it's related to this.
Yeah.
I need to tell him that I'm bothered. And I think it's not actually him. It's this this situation.
Yeah. Maddie came up to me this morning and she goes, she went through that and then says to me, she goes, can we analyze my behavior? And I was like, yeah.
Would love to.
My favorite thing to do.
Yeah. Because I wanted it to be clear rather than like coming at it as like, when you said this, it really bothered me.
Yeah.
Because then it's immediately like, you did this and I don't like it.
Yep.
I knew it was fully me.
Yeah.
So I was like, a behavior, a trigger, something is happening for me.
Yeah.
Can you help me understand it? And we did.
We did.
We spent like an hour talking about it.
Yeah, I love that though. Like, that's one of my favorite things. Just
You're a therapist.
Analyze the shit out of a behavior.
Yeah.
You know, why did that happen? What does that relate to? Oh, cheesecake to my mouth, music to my ears.
So funny. What do you think the aspects of a healthy friendship are?
Like to define it or just aspects?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's dependent on each person. Like you probably have to caveat with that. Like every person is going to look at friendship differently. And there's no right or wrong way. There is no right or wrong friendship, I don't think. Some people are super blunt. Some people maybe are a little more elevated. Some people never address conflict. If that's your shtick, that's your shtick. For me personally, I think a friendship is like healthy when you can show up as yourself. I can be me, whether that's like needing to talk about something difficult or like when I could go to my friends about when my dad passed. that meant a lot, you know. But also been able to shoot the shit with them. Like, you know, Johnny is a good example. Like damn it. He called me for the first like 5 days. Yeah. And just checked in, just wanted to make sure I was doing okay. And that's what I needed at that time. And then there's times where him and I will toss the football for an hour or play pool for 4 hours or drive up to Golden and talk about deep, shallow stuff, whatever it is. Like we can go anywhere really with each other, I think. And I think, like, I feel that he accepts me for me and I don't have to be a different version of me. I can be me. And that's a huge thing. Like when you can just show up as yourself and not have to pretend, not have to put a mask on, which we all do to some extent. Like even in your closest friendships, like, you know, to some extent, it's the idea of being 100% you all the time is like a philosophical paradox. Like it's, you know, what does that even mean? But yeah, if you can be you with someone and just feel good when you're around that person genuinely, like not forcing it, just feeling good. And yeah, if you guys can bring up if something has hurt you, if you can have that sort of like healthy communication about conflict. Yeah, the reciprocation I think is pretty huge.
I think another word that comes to mind is just like a mutual respect.
Yeah, for sure.
When I think of some of the friendships, like when you were saying like that, like blunt, kind of more brash, like your one friend that you were with for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
You guys had a really like intense friendship that like I would have maybe not been super comfortable with, but you guys had this like mutual understanding and like kind of like a respect of like you knew each other's limits.
Closest I've ever felt to a person, really. Like not besides us, but like we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a mutual understanding of like trust and respect.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
But I think that's what helps you then be able to like show your true self and know the limits of, you know, this is the friend that I can really shoot the shit with, right?
Yeah, and to be able to be vulnerable, like especially as guys. And is she outside?
Whoa.
This is just my experience because of how I grew up, but being a guy who played sports and was just, that's not a vulnerable, encouraging environment necessarily. And for me, it means a lot when I can go to that place with a guy and you're not sort of shamed as being weak, or they understand, or they can open up too. Like Nate, Johnny, Jesse, Nico, like to be able to go to those places with those guys, Derek, it's everything. It's you're accepted as the person that you are and that you want to be. And you don't have to be this like pseudo strong man all the time, because sometimes you are, but sometimes you're not. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's been really interesting to witness you and your like niche work of bachelor parties. Bringing guys together.
The coolest experience with bachelor parties.
Maybe that should be like your side gig. You just like
hosting bachelor parties.
Yeah, you're like the guy that brings everybody together.
I can't do that. That's a men's group. Should I let her in? I'll let her in.
I think she's okay. We'll finish up in a second.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're at an hour and 20. Wow.
We won't talk very long. Yeah, I think that that's just been really cool to witness, of like you are comfortable in yourself and you value having connections with others. And so then being in this close proximity, it creates this awareness of like, oh, well, tough guy Matt is vulnerable. Like, oh, I can drop a little deeper. Like being in these spaces where it doesn't have to be all this like bravado and like we're doing all these like male kind of activities and we can't just like be with.
Yeah.
And I think it goes across genders in different ways.
It's just, I know I've said this to you a million times, but for me, it's illogical now to think that being vulnerable and going to therapy or talking about your emotions makes you weak, because it doesn't. Like some days I show up to jujitsu and I am weak, but that's because I'm underslept or I've like done some not good things that day. You know what I mean? Or I haven't eaten well. Then I feel weak. Then I get destroyed. If I cry the day before, if we have a really nice chat, or if I open up about something, I'm usually better.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't, it just like this idea. And I think for a lot of guys, when they haven't put themselves in like those confrontational martial art type sports where you're actually like, you want vulnerable, try having someone half your size mount you for 45 minutes and you can do nothing. Like that's vulnerable, you know? It's just like, so I think like that is that from coming in from the world of like therapy and getting involved in jujitsu and kind of being like in the martial art realm for a little bit. It's a cool combination in that way because you can bridge the two. Like you can be tough and strong and you can like know how to handle yourself, but also be able to cry or to be able to not be, you know, weak all the time or be weak sometimes weak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like bringing people together who want to go deep and want to connect. And I think we all do. I think all people genuinely do. All guys do. Like me and Nate have gotten so close so quick because of the things that we see in each other that we just wish people could have like said to us, or that like the ways that we want to be recognized in this world. Like I see him as just such a beautiful person in all these ways. And he sees the same in me. And we struggle to see it for each other, like ourselves, more so than the other person does for us. So when we share that with each other and we're secure in our own ways, right? Like we kind of have that thing. It's so connecting for us. And we're just like, this isn't like, it doesn't bring that kind of like, weak stereotype for us, you know?
Yeah. I think the alternative to like the weak stereotype in like female world is like the comparison.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to that like mom shaming, the shame and the guilt and the comparison cycles that you can get in.
For sure.
But I think like when I've had like friend gatherings and stuff like that, and maybe bringing people that have never met each other, people are just, we forget how much we want to just like be with. And the more that you can just like take off those masks, whether you're being vulnerable and sharing or whatever you're doing, but just like not, I just think there's so much relief that can happen when you're like, oh God, I don't have to pretend.
Yeah, they're not perfect. I don't have to be perfect. We can all just like,
Yeah. And so I think that happens in those spaces where you're just like, oh, like I could imagine some guys see you and they're like, oh, he's the jock. I remember the jock in high school.
Right.
Like I have this trigger, this image. And then when you're just a nice, kind human, it's like, oh, thank God, right? There's that relief. And I think,
I hope so.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
And I think that as humans, we're always kind of assessing like the danger in an extreme way. And so when you're going to a new space where you don't know people or you don't know how you're going to be received or judged, and then you have people just be like, wow, today I, felt like this, or I'm so frustrated because like nothing brings a group of girls together like complaining about periods, right? Like, oh, my cramps are so bad. Everybody's just like, oh, yeah. You know, like.
And then for guys, it's, oh, my girlfriend's period's so bad.
Shut up. No uterus, no opinion. But I think the more we can just be like real in those spaces, then we actually can get to that connection piece. And it's not that hard because everyone can just be like, ugh. Right?
You know what's a really good trait for friends too? Is people who can like nicely, respectfully make fun of themselves. Don't take themselves too seriously, and especially with dudes.
Yeah.
Like,
I can see that.
Yeah, like there's something when someone like, I used to do jujitsu with this guy. His name was Matt, and he just like didn't take himself too seriously.
Yeah,
we would roll and we would go hard with each other, like, and he was athletic and really difficult to deal with. but we would like laugh the whole time. I would
Mhm.
almost get him in something and he'd be like, oh, not this time. And then he would do the same to me. And it was just like fun. There was no
Mhm.
ego, none of that
Mhm.
competitiveness. It was like, we don't need to be the best, but we're going to try. But who
Mhm.
cares if you get me or I get you?
And you can celebrate each other.
Yeah. But that's
Yeah.
just not always the attitude. And like, I just remember he would so readily kind of like, you know, make fun of himself, and not in like a self-deprecating per
Yes.
se way, but in a healthy way.
Yes.
Like, I don't need to be the man all the time. I can just, you know, you can see this part of me and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it sucks when you're around someone that appears to be perfect or have it all together. It's so triggering.
And it's bullshit.
And it's bullshit.
Nobody's like that.
And it's really sad because you're like, ugh, you can't relax.
Yeah. But if you're that way, keep going. Whatever. Should we call her?
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up?
Hey, you're my best friend.
Oh, you're my best friend.
Ugh.
No idea how good it sounds.
That was terrible.